Okay. Right. So now I will explain how you should study. Okay. Take a CR book. Oh, sorry, let's take an A4 paper. Okay. As you take an A4 paper, you break it down into columns. Now, since A4 papers usually have the lines within them, breaking it down further would be unnecessary. Okay. So let's say there are this many lines. Okay. In each line, write 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Now, this aside. Let's keep this aside. You take your book, the CR book, like I mentioned. You take the CR book, like I mentioned. The first page, put number 1. Okay. Now, what did we finish studying? Water. We finished studying water. So, an essay comes regarding water, it would be describe the physical and chemical properties of water. Okay. So in that page, what you need to do is you write, have you heard of mind maps? You put water. Okay. The first thing they talk about water is the functions, no? Remember? The vital chemical constituent provides a biological medium for all organisms. Okay, those are the functions. Then what do they talk about? The chemical nature, right? Chemical nature. Now, under chemical nature, they draw the water molecule, right? Now I have put an image also. I have put an image of a water molecule and how these water molecules form hydrogen bonds with other water molecules. So then under that, you put diagram of hydrogen bond. Okay, right. Then the next topic is physical nature. Yes, physical nature or physical properties. In physical properties, there are 4. You write the first one, that is the cohesive. Second one, let's say moderate temperature. Third one is expansion upon freezing. Fourth one would be versatility as a solid. Right. Now, what you need to do is, when you study, right, you need to study that water part in such a way that you can close your book. That means your tube, you're using tubes on other books. So you close your tube and try to explain whatever you study. Whatever you studied regarding water, you study the functions, you study the chemical property, you learn how to draw the diagram, you study the physical property, you study the that means under each physical property, you have other properties, not cohesive, a bit moderate temperatures, so and so. So you explain that also. Once you're done with that explanation, then you open the tube or you open your textbook and see what you have missed. Okay, what you have missed. And then if you're satisfied with your explanation, let's say you were able to tell more than 85% of the topic. Okay, if you're satisfied with your explanation, then number 1, this is the first essay you're studying. Then on this paper, you write the date that you studied this. What is the date today? 18th. 19th. So you write 1904. Okay. Right. And then you can tick. Again, up to you. You can use different colors. Red for bad, blue for, let's say, good, and black for easy. Okay. So after you close the book, you told this entire essay out with your mouth without looking. Okay, you either pretended like you were teaching somebody or you just told it out loud. Then you're satisfied with it. Then you put easy. Then what you have to do next is you need to follow something known as a spaced repetition routine. So whatever you study today, let's say now you probably understood water very well. A month into the future, let's say you did not study water at all, will you be able to remember it? Even though you perfectly understood it today, 1 month later into the future, if you never looked at that water molecule ever again, right, you will forget it. So to prevent that from happening, you need to systematically review whatever you are studying. Okay. So this is the format that I follow. I'm a student now. I also have to study pathology, pharmacology, anatomy, physiology. Even I have to remember that. So this is the same method I follow. Okay. Right. So then, let's say 1 day into the future is which date? So if I'm telling you to review this 1 day later, what is the date? 20. Okay. Then on 20th, you're taking you still didn't refer what at all. Okay. From what you studied on the 19th only, you came to 20th. And then without looking at the resource book or the text or the tube, you start recalling water again, all the way from functions up to versatility as a solvent. And then you open the textbook or the tube and then read it and see what are the points that you have missed. Okay. If you're satisfied again, let's say you remember more than 80% or 85% of the points, then again, you put either easy or good, depending on what you feel. Okay. Then you need to review it 3 days into the future. 3 days into the future. Let's put 23 of April. Then on the 23rd of April, you take the book again. You see, you have to review water today, and then you say it out loud. And then you open this book and see, have I mentioned functions? Yes. Have I mentioned chemical nature? Yes. Have I drawn the diagram? Yes. Am I able to, did I say cohesive, moderate, expansion upon freezing, versatility as a solvent? Yes, I mentioned all of that. Then you open the resource book and check whether you were able to mention the details relevant to each subtopic. If you're able to do it, that means again, you were able to remember. Then you put good, easy, whatever. Then you follow this in this manner. 1 day later, 3 days later, 5 days later, 8 days later, 14, 20, 40, 60, 90. Okay. You keep doing this. Once you reach this 90 days later thing, you only need to study water 4 times a year. And you will still be able to remember. Let's say on the 90th day you study. Okay, now you follow this method all the way until you reach, let's say 40 days. Okay, no matter what MCQ you are given on water, you will be able to answer. Because if you have the knowledge, if you have enough knowledge to write a 150 mark essay, do you think one MCQ is going to trouble you? No. No? Is it going to trouble you? No. If you're able to write a 150 mark essay, one MCQ is nothing. So even if you are not able to write 100% of the essay, you will surely be able to write more than 80%. So you do this method. As you can see, I have written 1 to 10, 1 to 11. Now this is a A4 paper. So on the other side also, you take it and write the dates. Now last time, if you remember, I told you to write the dates here. But today I'm telling you to take an A4 paper. The reason is, if you write it on your book, you don't have to turn the pages and find on which days you need to review. But if you write it on an A4 paper, let's say instead of writing the name of the essay, you only write the number, page number. You only write the page number. Then you can see all the dates that are there. Easy, you don't have to turn any pages. You will know by one glance at the A4 paper what reviews I have on which days. Is that clear? So you keep doing this. Follow this page repetition format. If you want, you can note it down these days. Okay? You follow this. Let's say our A-level syllabus has around 300 essays. Okay? You remember all 300 essays, you should be able to get the highest marks for biology. Okay? This is for essays. After essays, you can also do something for MCQs and SE. So far we haven't done much. We only did up to water, right? Then with this essay knowledge, you start doing MCQs and SCQs. Then you will encounter certain MCQs. You will encounter certain SCQs or structured essay questions, which you can't do. Study only that theory. Only that theory. And again, that same theory, follow it in the same method. And then if you keep doing this with so many papers and most of the essays, you should be able to get a very high A for biology. Okay? I'm not sure whether I have it on my laptop, but in your medical curriculum, in your first 2 years, you don't go to hospital. Okay, even for dentistry, you don't go to hospital in your first 2 years. You have the final barrier exam. Okay, in that you have anatomy, physiology, biochemistry for medical students, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, dental anatomy, and dental physiology for dental students. You need to pass that exam, only then you will be allowed for the hospitals. So my weakest subject was anatomy. Physiology, I was pretty good. Anatomy was my weakest subject. So as I was studying anatomy, so you only have the resource book, you all have one resource book. Grade 12, grade 13 resource book, maybe this much thickness. That is the thickness of a textbook we need to refer. Part 1. Then you have part 2. Then you have a part 3. Then you have a part 4. Then you have different textbooks with different theories. So one might say something else, another one will say something else. Then you have something known as an atlas. So all that is there, a vast syllabus. Can we study every book? If we also want to have a life, we can't study every book. Yes? So what I did was, this method, I did it for all past paper essays. So we have past papers. No? So by the end, that means if the exam is tomorrow, today I have memorized 200 essays. 200 essays, but instead of having it on an A4 paper, I did it on an Excel sheet. On laptop, on my laptop, we have Excel now. So that Excel, it's easy on Excel, like let's say today is 28th of April. I just need to put on the search bar 28th of April. Then it will show me what are the essays I need to study for 28th of April. But if you all don't have a laptop, and if you all just prefer the manual working, this is more than enough. Okay, so per unit, for unit 2, I think there are only maximum 48 essays. 48. Okay, keep doing this all the way until unit 10. You should be able to get an easy A for biology. Is that clear? Okay, so again, remember my study method. This is one. Your studying is broken down into 3 parts. The first one would be understanding. Second one would be the active recall. And what I have explained over here is the third part, the reviewing or spaced repetition. Active recall is when you close the book and start saying, water is a vital chemical constituent. It provides a biological medium for all organisms. Water is polar, small and liquid. That is the active recall part. This is the spaced repetition part. What we are doing here is the understanding part. So you cannot leave this classroom until you understood everything perfectly. Okay, and then you go home, you follow this method. So for the first 3 months, okay, I will supervise everybody. Okay, even the online students, everybody should follow this and show it to me every week. Okay, until the first 3 months. After that, I will see whether you all have to make any changes in your methods. And if your method is perfect, you can carry it on. You don't have to show it. But if there is somebody who thinks that they have a better method than this, no problem. You all can follow it as long as you all have results. Okay. This is a form of active study. Passive studying is what we all did when we are in O-levels and grade 10. We just open the book and we start reading. Okay. 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 Then in the 5th page, you don't remember what you read in first page. Because reading is passive. How many of you all can listen to music when you are studying? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. What is 13 times 26? Can do it on the head now. If you focus hard enough, you should be able to solve that in your head now. Can you solve that with music in your head? While playing music, will you be able to solve 13 times 26? Can't. Yeah, write it out, yes. Now I'm not talking about writing it down. I'm only talking about mental. So when you play music, you are not able to use your brain at 100% capacity. So why study with music? If you are able to study with music, right, that means you're not using your brain at 100% capacity. Obviously, come. Now I am a person who can't listen with lo-fi music. You have heard of lo-fi? Yes. I can't listen to music like lo-fi even while studying. I can make tunes. Okay, I can prepare for the class by listening to lo-fi. How many times have I studied this? So I can use lo-fi. But when I'm studying for my exams, I never listen to music. Okay. So remember this. Active recall, sorry, understanding, active recall, spatial recognition. You all also asked me